Spring has sprung in Texas. You hear my wren? You see the green on the trees? There she is. Welcome to Adulting with Assets, where we focus on learning how to manage money responsibly with confidence, discipline, clarity, and purpose. I'm Lisa Marie, and today we're talking about what 5 weeks of money habits can change. 5 weeks ago, we started building money habits together. Most people watch financial videos, feel motivated for about 10 minutes, and then nothing changes. So today I want to pause and ask you one question. In the last 5 weeks, what have you actually changed? Not just planned on changing, but changed. And in the next few minutes, we're going to look at the 5 lessons we've covered so far and the one question that reveals whether your financial future is actually moving forward. We're 5 videos into this journey together. Let's pause and look at what we've covered so far. Week 1, we talked about what school never taught us about money. Most of us were taught how to make money, but very few how to manage it. We talked about budgeting, mindset, debt, understanding the difference between needs and wants. And I shared the story about 2 months of savings at the age of 23 that changed my entire world. That small amount of savings gave me confidence and freedom to take a commission-only job that eventually shaped my entire career, and actually is why I'm here today. Savings doesn't just protect you, it changes the risk you're willing to take. Week 2, we talked about 4 money habits that change everything. Those habits were simple but powerful. Know your numbers, track your spending, stopping the habit of financing your lifestyle, and automating at least one good financial decision. Because when good decisions are automated, they are no longer depend on daily discipline. And then the system starts working for you. Week 3, we talked about building your savings account. Not saving a random dollar amount, but choosing a percentage of your income. Because percentages grow as your life grows. We also talked about savings and how it eliminates fear. When you have reserves, life becomes much less fragile. Unexpected expenses don't feel like disasters. And we talked about ways to earn additional income to accelerate the process. House sitting, dog sitting, babysitting, selling things. Week 4, we discuss what happens after you build your safety net. How do you protect the assets you've created? We talked about the wisdom from the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Simple lessons that have lasted for thousands of years. We also talked about removing things that weigh you down financially. Subscriptions, debt, habits that quietly drain your income. And we talked about something very important. The difference between looking wealthy and being wealthy. And those are not even close to the same thing. Week 5, we talked about the cost of debt versus the growth of assets. We broke down what happens when credit card debt sits at 23 or 24% interest. That kind of debt compounds against you. But when you invest, compounding interest works for you. We talked about the rule of 72 and how money can double when it's given time to grow. And I asked you to make a commitment. Do you remember what that was? It was a decision about how much would you apply to your debt each paycheck. Because we can't truly build wealth while carrying 24% interest debt. That is financial resistance. Now think about this for a moment. That's a lot of information in 1 hour. Yeah, you didn't hear it all at once. You heard small nuggets each week. But information alone does not change your life. Habits do. I don't want you to simply listen to this channel. I want you to exercise your mindset. I want you to begin making small changes, because one small decision each week, one habit repeated consistently, can compound into a life you never dreamed possible. I had no idea that at 58 I would have the gift of the ability to retire. But it's because at 32 I started making changes and I changed my habits. But if you just listen, you're not going to create change. People struggle with change for several reasons. Because the human brain is wired to prioritize safety, stability, and energy conservation. This means it sees uncertainty as a threat. Change disrupts established routines, triggering fear, anxiety, and stress responses. It requires a strong cognitive effort, often leading to resistance due to fear of failure or the unknown. A long time ago, I learned that fear only means false evidence appearing real. And every time I say it, that's what I think of. False evidence appearing real. But today, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself a few questions. What have you learned? What steps have you taken? What ideas did you ignore? Every one of those answers reveals something about you, about your mindset, and about your desire to change. There's a quote I love by Robin Sharman. He said, "Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end." Right now you may be in the beginning, or maybe somewhere in that messy middle. But if you stay committed to the habits, the ending can be beautiful. So here's a question I want you to ask yourself today. If you compare today to 5 weeks ago, what are you doing different with your money? Because information doesn't change your financial future. Habits do. Take what fits, leave the rest. And if something here saves you one hard lesson, it was worth the conversation. That's adulting with assets. And I'm really glad you're here. Remember, wealth isn't built in moments. It's built in habits. I'll see you next week. And don't forget, your future is watching.